Your community. I'm your host, Tim Rist with DORE, here to help you find your people and find your place. We are passionate about giving you an intimate introduction to the local leaders, businesses, and nonprofits that make our community so special. We hope you enjoy this episode. We're live. Russ,
live.
Thanks for being here, man.
You bet. Good to see you.
I feel like this is a man who needs no introduction because if you live in Oregon, and certainly if you live in Corvallis or have done business in anywhere in the Mid-Valley, you've met Russ as the marketing master. And so rather than going through all the accolades, I just thought I would share with you, you're here because you inspire me. And because I don't even necessarily remember all of the elements of your resume or the things that you've done or the things that you've accomplished. I know it's a lot, but I remember how you've made me feel. And I remember how you've made me feel for the last decade. Since the first time I met you when I was an early agent at a KW office in downtown Corvallis and you were doing marketing for ServPro. And I remember my first impression of you was, there's no way that guy's just going to do marketing for ServPro his whole life. That was early on. And I didn't have the courage to say it at that time, but lo and behold, you found your own path. You inspire people all over the world. Now you're here in my living room here at Rivendell to share with us. So thanks for being here, man.
Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. My friend Russ Hedge.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You bet. All right. Well, it is so great to be here. It was what, 4.5 hours I have?
Nice.
So, it was interesting because when I just recently spoke in New York, and I'm going to tell you a story about that, but when I was there, my portion was a half an hour, which is really, really tough for people like me to stay within a half an hour. So I have a little bit more time today. Still, an hour is a tough one, but I can pull it off. So I just love people. I just love talking to people. And if we haven't really truly had an opportunity to connect and meet, let's all go to coffee. I mean, anytime you want to call me. And what I'm doing first at the beginning of this is Tim, can you help me with this real quick? Because I can't go past here. I'm stuck. Can everybody take one of my cards? Because I really want you to know how to get in touch with me. I'll show you the information today, but I want you to have that because it's really, really important to me to really, truly connect with people. And I love what Cody was talking about with mindset. So we're talking the power of perspective today, but you know what? One really important element in there, that is your mindset. Every day when I wake up, first thing I do is set my mindset. So what do? The very first thing, before my feet even hit the floor, I just wake up and I'm just thankful and I'm just blessed for life, for all this going on, especially I'll talk a little bit about and be a little bit vulnerable about what I'm going through right now, but I'm just thankful. I'm just blessed. I have a beautiful wife. I have a great family. I have amazing friends, and I'm just blessed every day. Number 2, I give myself a little pep talk. I say, okay, Russ, you've got this. With God's help, you've got this today. You have the talents and abilities to get out there, do what you need to do. And number 3, I say today's going to be awesome. Now, people find out I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and they're like, yeah, no, not saying it's going to be awesome at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? I'm an early morning guy. So to me, morning is super awesome. I love morning. Morning's when I have all my energy, especially now when I'm going through a time in my life where I don't have the energy I used to. This is the real Russ that you're going to see today. This really outgoing, crazy guy who throws his hands all over the place. That is really me. Unfortunately, in the evening now, I'm a little more subdued, usually sleeping in the afternoon. But, but it's a blessing. Life is just a blessing. So those 3 things I do every day because I am choosing to set my mindset where I want to go every day. And that helps shape my perspective, which we're going to talk about today. Before I get too deep into the power of perspective, I do want to tell you a story that challenged my perspective. So I was just in New York, and I'm a country boy, really. I mean, I grew up in the city, but I grew up in the outskirts of Oregon City. So the furthest suburb of Portland, but it was like this, trees everywhere. And we used to go for miles. There's hundreds of acres to play on and just have fun. That's what I grew up on. So going to New York, it's fun to visit, but don't want to live there, don't want to stay there, right? So I had so much fun going in. I saw friends. I got to speak and inspire people. I call myself an inspiration specialist because I love to inspire people. I love to inspire you. That's my goal in life. And so when Tim tells me that, it's a blessing to me. It's a blessing to me. So I'm in New York having a great time for this short little snippet of time I'm there. And then it's time for me to leave. So I have to leave the conference like an hour early. I tell them, my driver's coming to get me. I had friends who had this amazing driver that picked me up at the airport and drove me around and came back to get me. It was amazing. So I get down there, but he's not there. And his name is Mr. Ed. No, he wasn't a horse. That's the first thing my kids asked me. He was not a horse. Mr. Ed was just an amazing, nice man. And so he wasn't there. So I get a call from Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed says, there's a parade that they didn't tell us about here in New York, and I can't get across the parade. They're not letting anybody across. And so he goes, hang on a second. I'm going to try to figure out how to get around. So anyway, half hour goes by. I'm supposed to be heading to the airport. Hour goes by. Calls back. I'm still trying to get around. Give me a chance. We may have to work something out. An hour and a half goes by. Now I'm getting really nervous. My mindset is let's get out of New York at this point, right? I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to see my beautiful wife, ready to get home. 2 hours go by, and he finally gets a hold of me and says, listen, I need you to walk 5 blocks down and meet me on the other side of the parade. So I have just had biopsies on my foot, and it's really hurting, and I'm limping, and I have my suitcase and my backpack, for the airport. I don't know if you guys know this, but in New York, 1 block is about 10 blocks here. They are hugely long blocks. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but they're very long blocks, right? So I'm telling my friends, I'm going to do this, and one of my friends jumps into mother mode. You ladies can probably get this. She jumps into mother mode, grabs the phone, says to Mr. Ed, oh, no, he can't do that. We're just going to call an Uber. And I'm like, hang tight. It's okay. I'm going to give it a shot. She goes, you sure? I said, yeah. So down I go. I'm taking off. I'm lugging my luggage and my backpack, and I'm getting tired. I've gone 1 block so far, and I'm already wiped out, right? So, and I don't have a lot of energy now anyway. So now I go 2 blocks. And I feel like the little engine that could. I think I can. I'm going to do this. So I'm cheering myself on. 3 blocks. I get down and bam, parade. Nobody through. They're right there. They're saying nobody through. That's it. And I'm like, I am getting through this parade. I'm determined. This is challenging my perspective on being able to accomplish this simple task, but I am determined, right? I'm determined to get through. So I go up. I decide I'm going into full-fledged cancer mode. I go up to the people. I say, hey, listen, I need help. There's like 10 guys who ignore me and like 2 that look at me. And I said, listen, I need your help. I said, stage 4 cancer. I got to get back to Portland. I have treatment next week. I've got to get through this parade. My ride is on the other side of this parade. I'm going to be late to the airport. I'm not going to make it. And so they're all saying, nobody through. And this one guy decides, he opens up, lets me through. They're all yelling at him. What do you not understand about nobody through, right? I'm just thinking, thank you, Jesus. Just let him take me through. It's okay. So we go through. On Broadway, New York, they have to stop the parade. I'm going through the parade. Walking on through. Somebody says, what was the parade? I have no idea. What the parade was. What did you see? I saw a fire truck that had to stop for me, and I went through and waved thank you at the fire guys. Get to the other side. Like a half hour later, I get across the block, get to the other side, staged people for the parade all the way down 38th where I'm trying to walk. So I'm thinking, okay, and I'm trying to pull my suitcase or my thing. So I'm like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, sorry, I'm so sorry, excuse me, pardon me. Get through the people. I make it down a block, get out of the stage stuff. Now I've just, 1 more block. Okay, down 1 more block. Still not 38th and Park where I'm supposed to be. It's actually 3 more blocks. So we go another block. I make it down there. This is what it seems like to me. It seems like it's a mile from this corner to that corner. It seems like it's 1.5 miles to the one over there and about 1 mile here. There's such a big intersection. I call my driver. I said, you told me to come to this intersection? I'm here, but I have no idea what part of this 15-acre intersection you're in, right? So finally, this guy is amazing, shows up, picks me up. I'm just so wasted. I told him, I said, listen, just give me a sec to catch my breath and just take a deep breath. And I just go into prayer mode, and I'm praying and thinking, I just want to get to the airport. I'm not going to look at GPS. I'm not going to look at the traffic because we're still in the middle of New York, having to get to Newark Airport. We get through. Finally, we get to the airport, right? because of my cancer journey, I'm a type 1 diabetic now. I cannot go through the regular x-ray machines. So I have to have a pat down and all that. So I'm thinking, okay, there's no way this is going to happen. Portland took an hour just to get patted down, right? So I walk up and I go into full cancer mode again. Listen, I said, I have stage 4 cancer. I've got to get home. I have treatment. I'm laying it all out. I'm not saving anything, right? I'm just throwing all my cards on the table. Thank God they were nice. They moved me up to the front of the line. They take me over. They pat me down. They let me, I walk up to the plane. I sit down on the plane and I just was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I'm just so happy to be on there because my mindset was ready to go home. My perspective had been, I can do just about anything, but it challenged my perspective during that. And so I just want to tell you up front before I get into the 4.5 hours I have left, I just want to tell you that your perspective is going to be challenged every day, that you're going to go through highs and lows, challenges and good things, celebrations and really rough times. And you have to be careful not to be too high or too low. You've got to learn to find that sweet spot where you can just go through and have a really good perspective about all you're doing. So that's my little story about New York. I did make it home, thank God, and very close, very close. So anyway, all right, here we go. So I have, by the way, an amazing, amazing assistant. This is not my talent. I'm not good at this stuff. And so when you see this amazing presentation today, she put it all together ever. She is amazing. So anyway, it does all these things. It moves around and all that stuff. Okay, here we go. Everybody stand up. Here we go. Laughter is truly the best medicine. Trust me, I know. Doctors have told me. So first I need everybody to smile. Tim's got the biggest smile. See, everybody smile. So when I wake up in the morning, everybody, here we go. Everybody smiling. Okay. All right. So when you smile, it instantly makes you feel better. I wake up in the morning and I just look in the mirror and go, I'm just happy, right? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to breathe in and out. We're going to breathe in through our nose and we're just going to go, just big exhale. Okay. Here we go. Breathe in. I mean, that feels so good already. Let's do it one more time. Now this time, when you let it out, you're going to go, ah. Okay, here we go. Ready? Breathe in. Ah. Oh, that's so good. This time, you're going to breathe in. Are you ready? You're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then you're going to laugh hysterically for 10 seconds. Now, if you have trouble with that, just look at your neighbor. Should be easy. Just start laughing at your neighbor. Okay, here we go. Ready? Everybody breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get that knee slapping. There you go. Woo. Oh my goodness. That makes you feel so good. It just, I'm telling you, laughter is truly the best medicine. Okay, have a seat. You guys can sit down. Good. All right. After all that, I got to have a drink of water. Oh my goodness. All right. So, you know, I'm going to move on here. The power of perspective. I was a blessed child. I am going to show you some things about my life and my family because what is around you really creates and drives your perspective. And I am a true believer. People always say to me, oh, well, I want to separate work and personal life. Well, I just say, good luck with that. They said, what do you mean? I said, do you take you to work? Well, yeah. I said, well, then good luck separating your personal life. And because if you have baggage or you have bad things or you have good things, you take all of that with you. That affects every relationship, every perspective and mindset moment you have. So it's important to realize how strong that power of perspective is. It is something that drives your entire life. So my perspective starts with me. What I mean by that is I choose, right? We're going to talk a lot about choice today. I get to choose. Now, for those who don't know me, I'm the live the life you choose guy, okay? And somebody's going to win this book today. I've got some books on sale at the end, but somebody's going to win this today because I got a couple questions I'm going to throw out. And, I truly believe that every moment things happen and you get to choose where you go from there. So it's shaped by me. I make the choice. And then for me, by God, my beautiful wife, my family, and my community. So here is me. So who am I? Well, number one, I'm a Christ follower. Proud of that. Thank God every day for my life. Number two, I'm a husband of an amazingly, when we talk married way up, I'm married way, way up. People look at me like, wow, how did you get her? I had a friend actually of my wife's from high school. I met him like the year after we got married. He goes, wow, how did you get Leah? I said, I don't know. She was dumb enough to go with me, I guess. I didn't ask questions. When she said yes, I was like, all right, let's go with it. I'm the father of two amazing children, and I have an amazing daughter-in-law too. And I'm a cancer survivor, and yet I'm still going through a cancer journey. I've actually gone through one round where they got all the cancer, and then they found more, and it's increased from where it was originally. So it's help me to be thoughtful and intentional about my own perspective. I'm not just telling you this, I'm living this as we're going through it. The other things really aren't that important. I'm an inspirational speaker, which is what I'm doing today. Woohoo, here I am. And I am an international best-selling author, marketing coach, and live stream producer. Had Mr. Tim on a couple of my live streams. It's been a lot of fun. I love that. So, it's my faith really that shapes everything that I do. And God is number one in my life. I'm thankful for that. I am just believing. My doctors talked to me about the chances. And I'll tell you, when I first got this round of cancer, it started as melanoma on the bottom of my foot. And then it went to my groin area. Through 2 surgeries, 2 treatments later, 2 rounds of treatment, they got that. But I ended up having a whole bunch of things that went along with that. I'm not going to go into right at the moment. But then they found more cancer this summer. And it had gone from my foot to my groin to my lungs to my brain this time. So we're dealing with all of that right now. So it's a lot of moving parts in my life, right? It's a lot of perspective to take in. But I trust God every day in my journey. Here is my beautiful wife. And as you can see, I was right. I married way up. She is gorgeous. Her student, she's a librarian at an elementary school. They think she's 25. They think that I'm her grandpa. I'm really glad they didn't say the other way around, because you ladies know that wouldn't go well. No, that wouldn't go well. So, and of course, she doesn't look like that. So anyway, they're convinced I'm her grandpa. So, by the way, we just celebrated last night. Yesterday was her birthday. We met 38 years ago on her 21st birthday, and we celebrated that yesterday. So this December will be 37 years married. This is my beautiful family. So I turned 60 years young this June. Woohoo! Okay, you can clap. Thank you. Okay, so 60 years young. And you know what? I do not feel 60. Well, sometimes I do. But anyway, I can't believe where the time has gone. But my family said, hey, we want to take you to the Big Island, to Kona, for a few days for your birthday. And I'm like, well, if you have to, I guess I'll just struggle along and go. So this was us up at Kona Coffee. We took a picture up on the hill. We were there. That is my beautiful daughter, who's 34. My daughter-in-law, who just turned 30, I think. My son, who is 32. And my beautiful wife. And I'm so blessed. So, I could talk about my family all day long. I know that we're not here to talk about my family, but they are a driving force in my perspective. I look to them. I look to you. I look to everything around me, help to give me strength and to solidify my perspective, really, in life and all that I do. I will say 2 things. Very musical family. My wife was an amazing singer. My daughter is a worship pastor. She's amazing. My son is 4-time Grammy nominated, 5-time Dove nominated for his music. So he does all my music for my live streams. I love that. Don't have to pay for that. Here's my dad and mom. And Mama, I am my mama's son. So she was the happiest person that you would ever meet. She was the happiest person I met. her perspective through challenges was amazing. I'm going to show you a little bit of Mama here in just a second, but I want to talk about both my parents because I had an unfair advantage, I tell people, because I had such a loving, supportive family growing up that I could do anything and they would support me, they would be there. It was amazing. So I don't know, everybody does not have supportive families. I understand that. So I was so thankful for them. But my dad got lung cancer. Unfortunately, he had been a lifetime smoker, which did not help with that. He got lung cancer, and then Mama got she was Alzheimer's patient. I don't know the word I'm looking for. So anyway, yeah, she had Alzheimer's. And so through this challenge, we got them into a senior living. And the long story short is my dad only lasted 5 months in this independent senior living. I thought they were going to live out their years, and the cancer came back and he ended up getting dementia. It was really, really bad. And this is another thing that challenged my perspective. And this is, I'm just telling you about life moments. My dad was laying on his bed in extreme pain from the cancer. And I was praying with him and holding his hand. The hospice nurse was there. He had been on hospice. The caregiver was there. They were amazing, helpful people. And they're giving him a bunch of morphine because he hurt so badly. He's looking at me with these big eyes like my little son did when he had to get his face stitched up. Like, son, don't let them do this to me, as they're giving him more morphine. And I'm like, Dad, they have to help you get calm. And it was horrible. I had been there for 2 days. It was just horrible. And, it was really God's gift to me the next few moments. And that was this. My dad finally got peaceful. And he laid down on the bed. And I'll try really hard to say this without crying because this gets me every time. But he laid down on the bed and he calls for my mama. And he says, hey, Mama, I love you, Mama. And she comes into the bedroom. She lays down beside him. And she holds his hand. She goes, I love you, Papa. In that moment, that was the final picture that I saw of my parents together, because I went home to get a couple hours of sleep in my own bed, and they called me about an hour later, and he'd stopped breathing. The beautiful thing was about this is it left me with a beautiful memory. And my beautiful wife, every time I left, she would say, make sure you feel good about leaving. Make sure you feel where they're at the moment, that you feel good about leaving. Again, this is how your life perspective is being shaped through every moment. So I would make sure that I felt good about leaving. And that moment, through all the pain and struggle, is what sticks with me. That perspective, that moment. My word to you is, don't look past simple, what we think are minor little moments. Make sure that you're soaking everything in. Be really intentional about life. Through my cancer journey, I've learned to be very intentional, very focused. And Cody was asking me a question on that earlier, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about that. But so we did a thing. Mama lived on for about 2.5 or 3 more years in memory care. And we did things called #Happy Moments with Mama. She was happy. We would walk her memory care. It was a big circle hallway. So we'd walk it, we'd laugh and sing and just have fun. And I decided, hey, I'm going to take some little videos and things and some pictures to remember this. And you know what I found out? That moment really that was for me in doing that turned out to be such a blessing to so many people. Such a blessing. I want to show you this. Here's a happy moment.
So hello, I'm going to see Mama, and what do you do when you have some extra time and you can't actually get in to see your Mama? Well, you do a video or an iMovie of happy moments with Mama. Here we go.
This was during COVID, so the apply did is we couldn't actually get in to see her.
Boom.
Boom, boom, bird on my shoulder. It's the truth.
It's
In fact,
actual.
everything is
Satisfaction.
It's a good day.
Bird on my shoulder. It's the truth.
Yes.
It's factual. Everything is. Yes, you're a good mama.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ready to sing a song?
Yeah.
What are you gonna sing?
Think so?
Yeah. What do you want to sing?
Well, how about over the river and through
The woods.
Your grandfather. Thank you.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holiday, doodle-doo. And no matter how far away you roam, doodle-doo. If you want to be happy in your million ways, la 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 la, you hope to. Doodle-doo. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way, dooby dooby doo. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way, la da da da. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Ba ba da bum bum. That was good.
There's some fun with Happy Moments with Mama.
So the beautiful thing about that is her level of memory right then was she was on the edge of not knowing who I actually was, but she knew, she was familiar with me, and she would still tell me she loved me, and she just loved life. The perspective she kept in the middle of all that was amazing and inspiring. You talk about being inspired, Tim. It inspired me and looking at those. So another thing that really inspires me is my community. All of you and all the people I know, right? How many people have an amazing community?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody needs to look because you're in Tim's community. So no, I mean, people make such a huge difference. This is actually here in Corvallis at a meeting, and you may know a few of the people in there. So it's so amazing. You know, perspective is a choice. I told you every day how I start to shape my mindset and the things that I do, right? So I want to ask you something. This is for the first person who wins a copy of Befuddled. Don't live befuddled. Live the life you choose. How many choices does the average human make daily in a 24-hour period?
1,844.
Anybody want to get closer?
2,222.
1,843.
How many?
1,843.
Keep going.
100, 1,000.
5,000.
86,000.
7,246.
Okay, so you're close. Only about 8,000 off. 25,000 choices a day. You'd make 25,000 choices. A lot of those are subconscious, but you know what? They're based on, sorry, I went past the threshold. Sorry about that. They're based, a lot of those subconscious choices are based on habits and what's driving you in your life, right? You form your whole life based on a bunch of little habits and choices. And so it is so amazing to me. 25,000 choices. When I read that, I thought, that is just crazy. But you know what? Perspective is definitely a choice. So I love this quote by Chuck Swindoll. How many people know who Chuck Swindoll is? He's amazing. So I'm convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to that. What does that mean? Stuff is happening all the time. We're going to talk about this. My favorite phrase, it's coming up here, but I'm going to tell you now. Life happens and then you choose. Say that with me. Life happens and then you choose. Every day of your life, life is happening. Is it happening for you or to you? Well, if you listen to Ed Milet and Tony Robbins, they would tell you life is happening for you. Every moment, good, bad, indifferent situations, whatever they are for you to grow and to build and to do amazing things. It's not just happening to you, but as that happens, you get to make choices. Are you going to learn? Life is one of the greatest teachers, right? Are you going to learn from your life choices, or are you going to just let it destroy your perspective and your mindset on life? And I choose to live life. I choose to live and to expect good things, right? I'm choosing to expect good things. So I do want to jump in really quickly because it makes me think of what Cody asked me. And that is, how has what I'm currently going through stage 4 cancer, how has that shaped and changed my perspective? Well, I did something that Craig Rochelle just recently wrote a book on, making up choices and decisions ahead of time. I forget the name of the book now, but it is, you're choosing ahead of time how you're going to react. What are your choices? When you go through life, you hit this. Don't let the emotion in the moment take you away. Pre-decide how you're going to act when that comes, right? So I have pre-decided, and while that I'm going through, that I'm going to keep a good mindset. I'm going to keep a good perspective. I'm going to live with joy in my life every day. I've pre-decided that. And so it is something that really helps me every day, right? When you pre-decide it, because then you're not leaving it up to chance every moment you get into a situation that's not happy. So here it is again. You ready? Say it with me. Life happens and then you choose. Oh, better than that. Life happens and then you choose. That's right. It does all the time. You know, that's the follow-up book to the book I just gave you, Live the Life You Choose, subtitle. Life happens and then you choose. Because it does, and it's just something that you need to remember as it's happening. Don't let it drag you down. You know, I'm a firm believer that you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be authentic. You need to give yourself a moment to just say, life sucks, right? Sometimes it's okay to not be okay, right? You've got to realize that. There's times it's okay to not be okay. You've got to get through that. You've got to because if you bottle everything up inside, you explode, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in your work life. All of this is the groundwork for everything you do every day. It's the groundwork for who you're trying to sell real estate to, who you're trying to do business with, how you're treating your spouse and your family and all these things. It is shaping everything you do. So you've got to think about life happens and then you're making those choices. And how many choices do we make in a 24-hour period?
25,000.
Look at that, man, it's amazing. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story. So, first of all, growing up in a kid I was like Tom Sawyer. I'm out in the woods. I loved it. My parents were amazing. I was one of those crazy kids that did every sport, music, drama. Probably shocking that I would do drama or do things like that because I'm so shy, right? But I did all those kind of things. It was so much fun. I loved it. So I grew up, and at 19, I had a near fatal car accident. That was one of the first major moments in my life that shifted my perspective and really gave me determination to move forward with my life in spite of challenges. So I had to be flown life. They had to cut me out, jaws of life, fly me life flight to Emmanuel Hospital in Portland. They had the trauma team all work on me, take turns, and by the grace of God, I lived. In fact, I was 19 and I was in good shape, so they let me out of the hospital. I wasn't even in there 3 weeks. I was in intensive care for about a week of that. And then within 3 weeks, I had lost my memory because I had major brain swelling. And 2.5 weeks into it, I started getting my memory back and they let me go home. And I went back to Oregon State. They had told me, this was July 9th of 1983. How many people were alive in 1983? A few of you. Thank you. Thank God. Somebody was alive in 1983. Okay. So, I know I am the old man in the room. So anyway, I told them I was going back to Oregon State, and they just looked at me and laughed, and they said, there is no way that you're going back to Oregon State. I mean, I had to learn how to walk again, talk again, everything again. My collarbones were broken, and my ribs, I couldn't even lift my arms up above my shoulders. So anyway, I was so determined, and I went through everything, all the hoops that they made me jump through. I went back to Oregon State in the fall, which was a miracle in itself. So I had finished out my college years here at Oregon State, and then went to work and married my beautiful wife right out of college. And so went to work in Portland. We lived there. I was in sales and marketing. So all of this stuff that we talk about when it comes to connection, when it comes to mindset and perspective, all those things, I've lived that from way back. This is the kind of person I was. Always, maybe that we've come up with terms that mindset wasn't a term that everybody used back then, and all of these things, but sales was pretty much the people business still, right? So it's all about connection and community building. So anyway, then here comes, I grow old, and 2 years ago, I find what we think is a wart on the bottom of my foot. And by the way, this was, my mama had just passed away in July of this year when they found that. Backing up, I should tell you, my dad had died 2 years before that in July, and then mama passed away on his birthday in July, and they found the cancer on my foot in July. So I was thinking about skipping July from here on out. I thought maybe I would just skip that month, but no. Anyway, so they found that, and they found out that it had actually moved all the way. They had to remove half of my foot and then rebuild it. And they found out that the cancer had already gone to my groin. So they found a tumor here. So after 2 treatments, 2 surgeries, they thought they got everything, and everything was good, thumbs up. This summer again, they did my normal checkups they were doing every 3 months, and they found that the cancer had come back to here, was now in my lungs, and they found a tumor in my brain. And then just here a few weeks ago, they found more melanoma on my foot again after all that. So the reason I tell you that is not to say, oh, poor Russ, you poor guy, because as you can see, I'm choosing to move on and move forward. I don't know if I have a day left, if I have a year left, if I have 30 years left, but I'm going to live every moment, and I'm going to keep a good mindset. I'm going to keep a good perspective. I'm going to love people. You know what? I love people, which means I love all you guys. I do. I'm just that kind of guy, I was did anybody hear about Life Surge, the conference that came through? So huge speakers. It's a Christian business conference. And I was there and I met a young man. This is what I want of my life. This is what I really would want to be known for. When I'm gone, that they will say, I met him because some friends, Andrea Beam, Jamie Ely, people were down on the floor yelling and screaming at me, woo! Well, because of the cancer, my hearing is horrible, right? So here when I ask you a question in a moment, if I don't hear you, that's why. So my hearing is horrible. So the guy in front of me goes, are you Russ? And I said, yeah, I'm Russ. He goes, I think those are your friends down on the floor that are all waving and screaming your name. And so anyway, he and I became fast friends. Shocking that I would make new friends. And so now we're already planning to go to coffee, but he sent me a text that really meant so much to me. He said, one of the absolute highlights of the conference with all these great speakers, all this great stuff, he said, was meeting you and connecting with you. And I thought, and he said, I just saw God in you, and it's amazing. And I just thought, wow, that made me break down and cry for a moment. That is what I want to be known for. I want people to see, joy and hope and peace in my life, even in the midst of turmoil. So that's a little bit about my story. I went from stage 2A to 3C to now stage 4 cancer. And you know what? I haven't changed. I'm going to hit it head on. I'm going to do all that I can do. I'm going to pray and trust my big God for a big miracle. But I'm going to keep my positive mindset and keep my positive perspective throughout all that I'm doing. And so I want my story to continue on. I want it to continue on not only as long as I'm here. I want, after I'm gone, people to see things like Happy Moments with Mama, things that I'm in, and they see that, and my legacy carry on, giving people joy and hope and peace and life. So here it is again. Say it with me. Life happens and then you choose. All right. I haven't looked at the time yet, and this could be a dangerous thing. Wow. I'm actually doing okay. Thank you. I'm going to have another sip of water. Is that okay? Please. All right. Okay. Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. First person that can tell me, other than my friend who actually got the book, first person that can raise their hand and tell me the full title name of my book gets a prize. So go ahead, raise your hand if you know the name. Tim.
The Fuddle, Live Life You Choose.
Okay, there you go. And you were on this show, The Experience Local,
Yes,
live with Russ and Scott, that broadcasts on Hope's 107 AM station and 14 KYKN in Salem. And there's a coffee card in there. So there you go. You got to have coffee with, there you go. And if I didn't give you the right card because I grabbed it in a hurry, it should say free copy. I have one, and I'll make sure that you get one.
That's great. Thank you.
So,
It's actually perfect. I really wanted that meaningful one. So
there you go. Well, you know what? I was going to give you one anyway, so that just made it easy.
take it.
Oh, I got to back up. Sorry. I just keep going past the threshold. Here I am. I'm still here. Okay. So, one of my biggest joys in life is this. I just love talking to you guys. And so hopefully I don't ramble too much. But when I am confident. See ya. I am really confident in what God has really given me talents to do. My beautiful wife asked me when I got home, how did New York go? I said, I was awesome. And they just broke up laughing. Of course you were, I said, well, because I pre-decided to be awesome. And because I feel that way, it affects everybody else in a positive way. Everybody else has fun because I've chosen to have fun, right? They do put me after lunch a lot of times because it's hard not to do that. I'm in your boat sitting there and start yawning. You're tired because you just ate. I'm not pointing you out because I'm that person all the time because it's hard. So they get somebody up here that's willing to jump around and do a bunch of stuff and do this. Everybody stand up again. Here we go. All right. Okay, everybody reach up high. Oh yeah. Give me a big smile while you're doing it. Turn to your neighbor on this side. Give them a little shoulder rub. There you go. Give a little shoulder rub. There you go. Okay, turn the other way so the other person doesn't miss out. Give the other person a shoulder rub. All right, have a seat. There you go. I just got to keep you moving. Okay, you can sit down. Tim doesn't want to sit down. He's loving that. Being between you guys, he knew where to sit for sure. And I didn't even tell him I was going to do that. When I used to teach, I taught classes to real estate agents and insurance agents for their, I'm forgetting what it's for. Their credits for, there you go, CE, that's what I'm looking for. And so the classes that would go all day, like you would have all morning, then you'd have lunch, people were falling asleep in the afternoon. And I'd always tell people, get up. Yeah, it's okay. Get up, just walk around. I said, grab a cup of coffee. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I actually feel really bad for you when I watch you because I see me. I see me falling asleep, I actually did a new thing in church because even messages that I really loved in church, I was falling asleep. So a friend of mine gave me a journal. So this is a good habit, by the way, for some people. It was for me. That is, I was engaging and writing notes during it. And that made it not only more memorable, but it kept me awake too. And so I do that to this day. It's very helpful. Okay, because life is made of a bunch of habits. How many people have read the book Atomic Habits? James Clear, it's a must-read book. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to get through this whole thing, but we're going to get to the crux of it. So the only thing sometimes you have control over is your perspective, because life is happening to you, right? What happens? Life happens, and then you choose. Life is happening all the time, right? So God has given us the freedom of choice. We can get out there and choose our life. Here is the 4 P's, my 4 P's that drive the power of perspective. All right, here they are. Aren't those slides really cool? See, I wish I could do that. It's a good thing I have somebody who can. Passion, purpose, persistence, and people. Okay? They are the driving forces for perspective. But also it can be said the other way. Perspective is driven by them, and they drive, it's very interesting. It can go both ways. But here we go. Number 1, passion. So I love what T.D. Jakes says, and I don't have this quote up here, but he says, if you're having troubles finding your purpose in life, Follow your passion, because your passion will lead you to your purpose, right? It will. What you're passionate about is what you were really meant to do. I like that heart guy. He's kind of cool. All right. So what are you passionate about? Give me something. Somebody just tell me, what are you passionate about? Just shoot it off.
Singing.
There you go. Love it. People.
Adventure.
What?
Adventure.
Adventure. Okay. You guys got to be something.
Being curious.
Okay.
I was going to say the word values.
Sorry, I can't hear
I was
that.
going to say the word values.
Value. Okay. Yeah. So it's important to take, I think God instills in us. We're created this way with things that we're passionate about. Why? Because those are the things we should be moving with. Because you know what? I hate to tell you this. I totally disagree with the statement that you need to spend all this time working on what you're not good at, your shortcomings. Total waste of time. Total waste of time. Now, there are some things we don't like when we run a business that we have to do. I understand that. And we have to learn to do some things that are not our favorite. But when it comes to your overall thing, don't spend your life chasing after the stuff you're not good at because someone tells you you have to live that way. We're living, a lot of times, people are living somebody else's life. They told you what you have to do. They said, this is what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to do it this way. You have to do it this way. When I started live streaming, I had some really well-meaning people. I said, I'm going to monetize my live streams because I love doing it. But I thought, man, I got to make money at this. I can't do this all the time if I don't make money. And that's how I pay for my amazing assistant too, who does all these things, which is cool. But I went ahead and I was talking to a couple of people and they said, okay, here's what you got to do. You have to have over 1 million followers. You've got to do this and you got to do that and you got to have this and that. And they're going through this whole list of things. And I said, okay. And they were very knowledgeable people. I was thankful for their input. And they said, well, what do you think about that? I said, well, I already did it. And they said, what? How many followers do you have? I said, 2. I think my wife and I are my only 2 followers. And you monetized all your live streams? I said, yeah. They said, how did you do that? I said, well, I was just dumb enough to think I could. Dumb enough to think that people would want to support what I'm doing. And they did. So my whole point there is you don't have to live somebody else's life or by somebody else's rules. You can have your own life, your own perspective, your own choices that can drive whether you're selling real estate, whether you're in insurance, you're a manager of a sales company, whatever. Okay. Love what you do and do what you love. I love that. Passion is the key that opens the door to joy and abundance. I love that quote. And then we have another one. I love this by Mark Twain. Find a job you enjoy doing and you'll never work a day in your life. I love that quote. You should love what you do. When I speak to young people, you know what I tell them? If you don't love what you do, quit. I sit there and I watch all of them going, I can't do that. That's irresponsible. And I'm like, okay, so maybe get another job and move in the direction you want to go, but don't get stuck doing things you hate. I mean, people work their whole life and they're nose to the grindstone and they really hate every moment of the work, but it pays the bills. And then you know what happens? They die at 45 years old. Now, that's not telling you that to depress you, but I'm saying they didn't love their life. It was so hard on them, physically and emotionally, and they don't even make it to when they can retire and enjoy life, right? So you need to love what you do. I always say if you're not passionate and if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it? Think about that. Now, I hope you all love what you do. I think you're all old enough that you've made a good decision. You love what you do. But that is something you should think about, right? You need to think about it. If you're not passionate, why are you doing it? Number 2, purpose. All right. How am I doing, Tim? Okay. I've got 10 minutes left. I'm going to do it. Purpose of life is a life of purpose. You know what? Purpose-driven life is so important. Why did you get up this morning? Who wants to tell me? Why did you get up? Why did you get up this morning? Because why?
Life is a gift.
Because what?
Life is a gift.
There you go. Why did you get up?
I got things that need to get done to fulfill my life.
Okay. Tim, why did you get up?
You gotta take care of all these people.
There you go. Why did you get up this morning?
Because I love life.
There you go. Why did you get up this morning?
Because of my kids.
There you go. So you got to have a why or a reason. And the thing is with all of this, a lot of it has to do with learning to give within all that you do within your life. I just always have to put something in about this because I think when you live a life of giving and supporting and doing for others, it always comes back to bless you. And I know that not everybody's number one why is to always give, but part of that needs to be in there somewhere because you're given to people, whether it's your kids, your family, others. I love this. Life is a matter of choices, John Maxwell says. The rest of that quote says, every choice you make makes you. So as you're going along, you're making these choices. It's making who you are in life. All right. Choose to live a life with purpose and on purpose. I love that. I love that. So you need to be able to build on your purpose. Whether it's in real estate, so you're building, what is your actual purpose? Why are you going after real estate? You cannot build a career or a life on that if you can't define what your actual purpose is. I mean, you got to be able to write this baby out. So what you all told me is great, but if you haven't done it, you need to take a piece of paper tonight and you need to write down specifically what is your why in life. So when somebody asks you, you can fire it off, right? Remember that purpose is not what you do, it's why you do it. Purpose and why you do what you do in life. So what is my purpose, my why or purpose? It is to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. So what do I mean by that? I want you to be world changers. I want you to be difference makers. I want you to do the things that God created you to do. And you all have specific talents and amazing things, whether they're with your kids, whether they're with other people, whatever they are, whether they're with your team. Perspective gives purpose in all that you do. With perspective comes purpose. And really that one can go the other way around. With purpose, it drives a good perspective. So persistence, here we go. Stay with it, don't quit. I'm walking down those blocks. I'm lugging my luggage is behind me. Man, I was persistent. I was not going to quit, right? When I had that car accident at 19, I was persistent. When they laughed in my face, I was going back to Oregon State. I was persistent. I wanted to move on with my life, right? Stay with it. Do not quit. It's not that I'm so smart it's that I stay with the problem longer. That is what Albert Einstein said. Because how many times did he fail? Over and over and over. Michael Jordan, I love that quote. Who's heard the Michael Jordan quote? He failed thousands of times, but that is what made him great. That is what helped propel him to success because he learned from all that he did. So when challenges come, when you walk into a room, they sit you down and they say, I hate to tell you this, but you have stage 4 cancer. What are you going to do? You need to stick with it when you have challenges. You need to develop that good perspective and realize life is not over because of what somebody told you. Your circumstances do not define who you are as a person. I love this one too. Opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so people don't even recognize them. There's opportunities around you every day. You need to look and choose and be intentional. My whole journey has made me more intentional about what I do. It's given me more purpose. It's given me a brighter perspective. But believe it or not, having stage 4 cancer has given me a better perspective on life than I had before. So stick with that. No one said it was going to be easy, right? All right, I'm almost done here. What opportunities are before you that you're overlooking today? Think about this. Because you know what? Sometimes life is just hard. You need to hang with it. Okay, here's one more. Success is almost totally dependent on drive and persistence. I don't know that I always 100% agree with this quote, but I liked it because it's talking about extra energy and going after things. Sometimes you do, like when I'm lugging that suitcase, I was going to make it. And sometimes you just need that little bit of extra energy to keep going. All right. Go to the last one here. I'm going to skip past these because we're running out of time. Though I like my enthusiasm guy. Yes. This is really, enthusiasm will always help you. Trust me, I know. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I have more than I thought. Okay. We're going to keep going through these because I want to get to number 4. People, this is crucial in your business, crucial in your life, all that you do. Okay. See, I told you an hour is even hard to stay in. Oh, okay. This is what I love, this quote right here. Say this with me. We're better together. We're better together. Collaborating, building each other up, helping each other be successful will make you better. It will make you stronger. Stick with it. Okay? You're better together. You need to, when somebody is in your business but wants to work with you and collaborate and learn, you need to help people, and then people will help you. It's working together. Connection and community building, I'm a huge advocate of this. This is where people build your business. Zig Ziglar said you build the people, and then the people build your business. How many people know who Zig Ziglar is? Okay, a couple of you. Okay. I actually still go to a meeting with his son and his secretary. They have a meeting every Monday that I get to occasionally, so amazing. But connection and community building, that is where your customers come from. So this book right here is the #1 book that should be on your reading list. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, okay? If you have not read that book more than once, you need to go back and read it, or if you haven't read it, you need to read it. And you can get it free online on YouTube, by the way. You can get the audiobook for nothing, so you don't even have to pay for it. Winning friends begins with friendliness. I do an entire workshop called Turn Cold Calling into Making Friends, because it's not about selling somebody. It's not about cold calling somebody. It's about making friends. When I had my team and all the jobs that I've had, what I did is I would teach them how to make friends, how to build community, how to get to know people. That is where your customers come from. That is where the people that buy houses from you come from, okay? And that is where your good perspective comes from, by the way. Know, like, and trust. I'll bet you everybody in this room has heard that, right? You need to, it's a wheel, by the way. It's not a ladder. People think, know, like, and trust. Woohoo! I did it. No, because you got to do it again. It's know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust, know, like, and trust. That is what is going to build your community and your business every day. Know, like, and trust. If you want people to be interested in what you have to say and what you're doing, be interested in them. This goes back to giving. Give your attention to people, okay? Give your attention to others. Let them know that you care about what they're doing. If you're online, what do? You comment on their online stuff. You engage in what they're doing. You show them that you care, because then they'll engage and be interested in what you're doing. People and community give perspective to your life. I really believe that. Like I said back at the very beginning, God, my beautiful wife, my family, and all of you are what build my perspective every day. It does. So here we go. Be passionate. This is just to sum it up. Live with purpose. Be persistent in all that you're doing, and collaborate with people. And it's going to make so much better. Choose a perspective of joy. And I can't see the last word, and hope. I thought I knew what it said, but I couldn't see it. Choose a perspective of joy and hope. And remember, life happens and then you choose. That's right. So here we go. I just want to tell you that I appreciate being here today, that this is my connection information, which you all have on my business card. And there you go. There are my books. If you are interested, I brought a couple today. You can pay me later. You can just go on my website and pay me. I'm going to give you a great deal today. I'm going to offer any of the books for $10. You can just give it. There's actually one that's less than $10. One is $7. The rest are $10. Just if you're interested today. And this is my original book. These are collaborative books that were amazing opportunities. Perspectives on Cancer was why I was in New York talking to that group. So I have that information. And stand up. Here we go. Stand up. This is the big ending. Here we go. Turn it up. Turn it up. Here we go. How many people love Preacher's Wife? Okay, here we go. Come on. I love this song. stop it. I don't know how to stop it. Okay, never mind. I can't do this with my clicker. So you know what? This is the type of, I know it's hard to believe, this is the type of worship leader that I am, the jumping around, having fun. But I just wanted you all to know, have joy in life. Live with a bright perspective. Life will always, I can guarantee you, that today I can guarantee you that if you smile and you have joy, everything in your life will go better. Absolutely. Everybody believe me? Yeah. It's true. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So thanks again for tuning in for another episode of Discovering Your Community. Your support means the world to us. And a like, subscribe, comment, or share helps us keep great content coming your way. We are passionate about serving our community, so your referrals also mean the world to us, not just for our real estate company, but for any of the businesses and nonprofits that we work with. Thanks again for keeping us in your thoughts, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.